This is Small Show live on radio on Afia 99.3 FM Enugu. Normally, Igejo Nungwe Malum. They call me Cutie Light. One guy to Neziboto Obwe. Obwe netalo Obwe Bianya Siakwe Maneba another Obwe, right? And of course, you know, say on Small Show, what we do right about here is to tell the story from Mbwebidolo. Kekesu. Of course, you are looking at so many businesses today. Efugo Kafasiaga and the rest of that. And of course, in the choir, I wish I am here, I wish I am here. But you don't know that all these people actually started from somewhere. This is where you're going to be learning the experience, the real life story, and the rest of the things you need to know from person Megolia. Succeed, yeah. No law of mania. At least those people you look up to right about now, these are the people we have on this particular show. Ladies and gentlemen, you know the matter, right? Normally, I always bring a masquerade right here in the building. And of course, today, I have somebody very, very percautious, a very big masquerade when it comes to engineering department.
Hi everyone, Afambo, engineer Obinna.Divine. And this is a big shout out to Small Show. Small Show, Ebi Feni Neneme. This is the place where you hear the stories first time. You actually hear the real honest stories of how to start, in case you're thinking about how to start, you know. And I recommend this show for all of you. You can never come here and not get something out of it. Big shout out to Afia Radio, big shout out to Cutie Light, that guy Tono Obwe.
They call me Cutie Light. Based on this level, right, I told you I have a very big masquerade right here in the building talking about Engr.Divine Obinna, who happens to be the CEO of Engr.Dream Project Globe. Of course, he's still right about here in the building telling us his story, Keko Sibido, and the rest of that, right? But before that, there's this particular story, this particular question I prefer, and of course, I love to ask people, especially this one, the very, 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 very important, but yeah. Talking about this one, right? One name. You're still here with me, Abi?
Why, yes, I'm here with you.
Where are you live?
On Instagram.
On Instagram at what?
Dreamy Project Globe.
Dreamy Project Globe. And of course, if you want to see Akulo Kalesia then and Waka and what is actually talking with me, the only man to be in a studio as an engineer boss you to more desaka on yeka. Manu don't he said I gave it on you. Don't worry. If you're out there, you don't understand where we are smiling, man. I want on your marala. If you want test time, go on Echo One Buzz page on Facebook also. You're definitely going to understand what we're talking about. Anyway, big shout out to Echo One by the way, right? So meanwhile, let's talk about this particular matter. Was there a time like you looked at a project like this, one day, you said, nah, this thing go hard for me, or it's just I no go live and run?
The truth of the matter is that from the time Ibido, every day you want to run, boss.
Like, I don't understand. How did you do it?
You have to keep convincing yourself on the opposite of a boss for a very long time. Because everything will be suggesting to you, give boss or we're in the game.
So how were you able to come out of it, right?
So that is where consistency comes in. A man for the results. But well enough, you will stay put. In fact, you to some people. Beg advice get up with this thing to engage in the game. Money because sometimes he look foolish and also go water. That's in name. So go on with the conviction. Go do your family members. I got to give your go somewhere else. Because the dream is yours. So go being heavy do this thing. More de KNL, Monta KNL. You get post to get the one I go get back. Oh yeah, is yeah, but consistency. You make it this year. I what was ya nishi this guy, all of a sudden one day, Fofonya Bogi again, I go in a kija lubungalo. Mofonya sigin na me go dim drawing. And what we can the end of the day, say Fonya ho, I'm a metazi, Yagi de oro.
Manakote
Mwagi get bidoman or the walking hang I walk. Anọkite nwe one follow na IG. Yotago. Or the quaka.
I'm telling you.
So we want one follow more detail on follow kwegi.
So, but what was it like? Your family, like, are they supportive at a point where they're looking at you like, nah, it's on a man chehegaro?
Oga, na oga because mgbe kọwata ihe to eme oga atọkwa ụtọ na ntị yota, but everybody ga-ebutezi oche tupu na ekiri gị ka ma ka esi wee mee the thing.
So, what was the hardest thing you faced doing this?
So the hardest thing you get face be it at all like every day. Convince yourself you dey make mistake. Every day you could in the morning. It's your way na ihe na ma bo kwa nzuzo na ihe aga akwọ ụgwọ. It will pay off. Customers will come. Patronage will come. We will sign MOUs. We will sign contract agreements on this thing. Ijisi na agakwa. Whether it looks like it or it doesn't look like it. And then you now watch he need him differently. Kanaga. You know at innovation. You know at new attractive applicable ways he gejikwa. Ni tinye na the thing naga. Make sure no be not today, not tomorrow on the dream. You know. Those are your selling points. Those are the things that will actually get you to understand that you have started.
Let's talk about when you started, right? Let's talk about most of those mistakes again one made as a person, right? Probably those mistakes that you wouldn't want anybody listening to you now that want to venture into civil engineering. Go Mayor.
Okay, so obu ni ibidosia, you know. Any dim ke ghọta na oburu ego ka eji ebido.
Okay.
You need to understand the dynamics of the business in eme. Dynamism most times abutaro ihe ego na eme. Because enwe ike enwe 5 million naira ito ebido business ba. Iburu di ego niile so na branding. Print ya t-shirts, rent ya shop. Print ya flyer. Bobo tibo. Within 1 year, the whole thing na anyu ọkụ. The first thing you get be water the administrative principles of running that particular business. Ibido from ground zero. Because mgbe ibido say obia dika ga abata aka ayamapu go machine nka ọzọ mee branding nka ọzọ spend almost 100 million on equipment dosara for 2 years on where I do bossa you know, until we understood that you have to go back to the grassroots, understand the tenets of the practice. You understand? And to understand it, ege rundi na-eme anso n'afọ ka ha si eme na akọpịta practices dị loyal to the system na-eme nwayọ from obele from ezigbote obele from imewe drawing. You may be engaged architects and structural engineers and MEP engineers that will be working with you on freelance on dega akwụnwọ gina artisans and where relationship and where they skilled that you can deploy to work because you're just the brain, but they are your fingers, they are your expression on the job. So ndị ọ ga-abụ ikuzielu the attitude, your attitude of intelligence n'ọlụ ha what you are very well. Ese mmadụ kpọnye ntu ebe a okponye ya na that particular place because ọ bụrụ na ịkpọta kapịnta na-amara ọrụ ịma na ị ga-ejidekwa aka ya na hama wee kụọ ntị.
Okay. But now let's talk generally about engineering, right? If you know what other things you do?
So I know anything concerned engineering, construction.
Okay.
It borders around housing scheme, which involves a loan.
Okay.
Yeah. Borders around pure civil works, which involves a loan, drainage, or ma asphalting, also my box culvert and bridges. So then it borders around remodeling and renovations. On a new lift or a fresh lift because of course you can't discard all of them. You still once in a while you want to transform it to a modern house. So we'll take it, we'll remodel it, we'll bring it out as a 2027 model of house. Yeah.
Okay. So how because somebody sent me a question to ask you, right? Okay. Ossie, how best do you manage most of these artisans? Because as an engineer, right, you have like thousands of persons working with you. Yeah. How best do you manage these people? Knowing comfortably when again and at the same level, or probably, in fact, or bring fame at any point, right? And you want them to deliver a
So on this show, time will not avail for me to answer it explicitly, but Nga Wagi. And when we set processes, check processes.
Okay.
So, aboni enwe a project location, enwe site. Again, where a supervisor and a foreman. Onye no above the supervisor, gabo like a resident engineer or site engineer that will supervise the foreman. The foreman will supervise the artisans. Yeah. Then he gets set the processes, check the duty of each of these people, especially artisans. He gets set the processes, check both the artisan, the site supervisors, the site engineers. You understand? Those processes, when you cable, needing a storekeeper or needing a freelance somebody, Ghana and Yatagi information, right? Then at every point in time, a question document every phase of the project. Ima ascertain more kwen heku kana alo. Obugodini no run at the location. If I say pictorial something to look at or videos to look at, you're going to watch the details every point in time. And as a good engineer, you must always correct your mistakes before you go beyond that level. So because artisans will be very fast to tell you, no, I'm wearing helmet. You understand? We can just manage it like that, one corporator and stuff.
I'm telling you.
But Ige may insist that the standard is sustained and the details are interpreted well and effected well on the project. I would say that for everyone, when the moment comes for you to enter the journey, you will know. And when you know, you'd have to deliberately start the journey. If you don't start the journey in our village to start with.
Our village.
Yeah, if you don't start the journey when the universe points you and says it's time for you to begin this thing, you're just going to run into crisis that you don't understand.
So let's talk about you starting the journey. How did you get into the journey? How did you start? Do you know you are going to, which journey are we even talking about? Opuna fugo problem.
Yeah.
Journey I right now, yeah?
So the journey to start that your business, that's your dream, that's your calling, because I see businesses as calling. To begin, you're going to have the intuition. Take, for instance, you're working somewhere already, and something is telling you, you need to start this thing. You need to begin this your own thing, and you're ignoring it. First of all, I got to go dig in all.
But is that the way you started? Like, oh
yeah, when you begin to see the things that you need to apply differently in what you're doing already, but you don't have the environment to do it in the setting where you already belong in. So you need to pull out, stand alone, and do that same thing and apply the tiny bit differences you want to see in the business by your own self. So when you have that calling to apply that thing, first you're going to want to apply some of those ideas that come to your mind in your work environment, but it's not going to work. It's not going to sit very fine with the people. Either they don't understand it because you are the light bearer, you are the one with the dream, with the vision, and you need to step out to do it exactly as you receive the insight.
Okay, there's a lot of things I actually observe. Akata English, engineer no verse. And a question I say, make I ask you, have you been motivational speaker? And say, by the way, right? Let's bring this story to your story, right? Okay, yeah. This is your story. Like, I just want to hear how it all started for you. Like, how did you get to this level? Right? Did you start from, like, probably from Kediana after engineer? Eko will understand that one. Big shout out to Eko one, by the way.
Okay, well, the truth of the matter, we all grew up from ground.
Okay.
My story is not such a sweet story.
Now waiting I want here.
Because na ebido ramo mgbe nkwesi ebido.
Kedu mgbe to si ibido?
Mgbe nkwesi ibido, ekwesi m ibido mgbe ego m ga-eji bido dị m n'aka. But I ignored all the signs.
And then we find
to bido. You understand? Until enwezi m other option than to bido.
So it was an option for you, or it was something like any other option?
Yeah, I won't see many other option. In fact, the system I was in rusticated me out of it. And all I had was that dream to start, and I didn't even know where to start from.
Okay, you had the dream to be a civil engineer?
No, I had always been a civil engineer, but to own my own construction company, and run things exactly how I deem it exceptional, is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So I was working in a company where I had arisen, pardon my English, to the level of an area engineer. Okay. That means I oversee the operations of all the construction sites and projects. Yeah, that was the time that I started getting the calling to start my own thing, right? But I ignored it. I ignored it until the company went bankrupt. Because the same thing I was seeing that I needed to apply to stop that company from going bankrupt, I was not allowed to apply it.
So literally you made the company to go bankrupt?
No, there are certain things that you need to apply in an administration, especially when a company is taking a nosedive into oblivion. You understand? And you that is seeing it, and you're trying to communicate it, but it's hard for the other people to understand. So when this wave of bankruptcy was looming, that was the time I was supposed to take my leave and go start something. Because at that point, we're taking a head dive into nowhere. But now when the bankruptcy started rising, I was the first to be affected. I got fired first of all.
I'm telling you. And you now decided to, you now remembered you had a dream.
So I was left alone with my dream and no money in my pocket.
Oh my God. So how were you able to actually survive, knowing fully well that, okay, you need money for this particular store, but you were not able to actually facilitate whatever?
Okay, so something that you need to know is that if you sustain a dream well enough, it will find a way to birth itself. Yes, absolutely.
If you sustain a dream well. Say that in again.
If you sustain a dream well enough, it will find a way to birth itself. Yes, the universe will come together to give you helping hands. You're going to walk into engagements, partnerships, things that will point you out to, how you're going to work.
This is, I just remember a quote from somebody. He said, until one day we will beat one of I will be motivational speaker. And I go, no. Because all this while I don't visualize that they drive one kind plane like that. No need for dream and fly. Okay, we are still right about here with him, and we are talking about matters, right? For a couple of you guys that don't understand big English. What's that your name? Sandra. No, Sandra no sabi waiting in the talk too. But don't worry, I got you guys right about here. Make sure you get somebody that is, of course, is educated, close to you. And of course, next time you want to employ an engineer, marijuana, so certainly. Ladies, you started a long time ago. I feel go to school be fine.
Fortunately, yeah. I go to school can name.
Wow, that's the first time I'm hearing this. It sounds like an allegation. Because I know a couple of people when they get go nursing, man, on real estate.
Well, and where anybody go civil engineering, my name again a different thing.
Really?
Yeah. And where go to school, medicine and surgery. My name. If you're in a banking hall, I go there possible.
My horn, emphasis on my phone,
yeah.
So use your teeth and count your tongue. Okay, so now in business, right? As a CEO, will you tell me that people you know or what you know is far better? Like, which one will you tell me that within these two things, Nku, now, people you know or what you know is more important?
Can you ask the question again?
Okay. Now, in business, right? Will you say that people you know is more important than what you know?
Okay. The people you know in business.
Which one is more important?
Well, what you know is very important in business.
Okay.
But the people you know is far important than what you know.
That's a political... But okay, explain.
Okay, well, because business thrives on partnerships. There's so much that you can do by yourself in business. But when you open your business to bring like minds and people you know into it, they will take your business farther than you will take it just by yourself. If you see a business that is thriving very well, take Obi Kubana for instance. You know that Obi Kubana is doing excellent in business because he leverages the people he knows. He finds a way to integrate the human resources in one way or the other aspect of his business. That is why he's able to be in hospitality, in transportation, in hoteling, and all that. So the people you know in business is actually more important than what you know.
This is the first time I think, and for a very long time I've had conversation with a lot of persons. They've been telling me things that is, of course, what you know, right? But I think I like your dimension, of course. But how then do you... Nah, no one run mad. Check. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, of course, we are still right about here. It's still the small show, live on radio. And of course, I have my man right about here, Eko Wamba and Princess Sandra. You be princess?
Yes.
Now lie, your papa no get kingdom. Okay, and of course, Junior is still right here in the building, and we're talking about small show. Most of these businesses you look out for now, or probably you see them doing a lot, you see them big and the rest of that. When these people actually started from somewhere, and on this particular show, this is where you are going to be learning from them, the mistakes if I may go. And of course, so far so good. Okay, those things that they wouldn't want you to do. Now, I think I've asked you that particular question about anybody that is in civil engineering, right?
Yes.
The mistake you probably made when you started. Give them an advice, like in the mistake you made when you started, you wouldn't want them to actually go through that particular mistake.
Okay, the first mistake you will make as a company owner is thinking you actually own the company. Because you don't. You should submit yourself to the administration that runs your company.
I think you need to repeat that. Maybe my ear is itching.
The first mistake you will make as a company owner is to think that you own that company. Because if you think you own the company, you think you own the money. And you're going to spend the money on anything that just comes to your mind. But as a growing business, first of all, you don't own the business. The business owns you. The business pays you what it deems fit at that level where it is. The business can be paying you 1,000 naira today. The business can also be paying you 1 billion naira tomorrow. But the business determines what it pays you.
Okay, thank you so much on that. And to an aspiring entrepreneur looking out to you now, listening to you right now, what are your final words to them?
To an aspiring entrepreneur looking to me now, first of all, you have to be mad. You have to be mad enough to think you can thrive as an entrepreneur. Second of all, you have to be dead to disbelieve. You get believe in ihe na-eme. Now come rain, come shine. Ihe na-eme ga succeed. And then lastly, you have to delay gratification. You don't celebrate on your way to the battle. It is after the battle that you celebrate. So when the business starts doing well, don't celebrate.
A lot right there. But of course, this is when I'm going to actually leave him because, of course, as a very busy man, he has to probably go and pitch one or two from that way. What that kind of thing. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to say a very big thank you to Engineer Obinna, who happens to be the CEO of Engr.Divine project, right? Project Globe or Globe called Globe. One name.
Globe.
Blah bad in okay, Jalono. And of course, that's the way we are, of course, ending this particular show. Ladies and gentlemen, keep doing the best you can actually do for yourself. And I say big shout out to him, Engineer Obinna, and of course his company for bringing him here. And a big shout out to Junior, who happens to be behind the camera. And big shout out to Echo Wamba, of course, a very big name, you know that for sure. And big shout out to Princess Sandara. And also big shout out to my own very self. They call me Cutie Light. One guy told no way. On this note, I want to tell you that I'm going to see you by next week on this particular show again. But before that, keep living, keep surviving, keep enjoying yourself. Womi, a DJ, is behind me. Mana before or not behind me. Let me go inside the market. Normally, I ain't telling you about